Running a Fever, episode 93.
Yes! We're going to talk about challenge that works. How do you love your life when it's unlovable? How do you get through times like that when it just doesn't seem like you can find anything to love about your life? We're going to talk about a new exercise plan. Talk about my new exercise plan today. Wow. Michael Davis, and I love my life because, you know, I've really had such an improvement in the last year in every aspect of my life, just about. I haven't gotten any taller, but other than that, everything else is going pretty good. So I hope that you love your life too, and if you do, or you want to love your life, you want to make it last as long as possible, come on along on this journey. We'll get there together. You know, sometimes I had a tough week last week. I'll just be honest with you. Some things happened, especially at work, that really just had me kind of down in the dumps for a while. And it's not usually the kind of guy I am. Not anymore. And so I was just wondering how to deal with this because, you know, I'm seeing these other people who know me and think, well, this isn't how I normally am. And this loving my life thing is a long-term, whole life thing. So I can't just decide one day that I don't love my life. So how can I love my life? Howdy. I don't know, it's not easy. I mean, sometimes I just have to have a day when I'm just not feeling that way. But I know that having that passion, loving my life, is the key to everything I want to do in this world. I'm going to have a future episode talking about why. Why love my life. That's important. And that, I'm sure, is going to help me. A couple episodes we've talked about how having that passion, having that purpose is one of the keys to living longer, which kind of makes sense. And if you want to get somewhere, you kind of got to know why you want to get there. Not just where you're going to go. So continue to learn in this process. And some of it is just down to habit and a mantra, you know. And I used to think, well, if you're just saying these things, you know, is it really doing anything? I mean, you can keep repeating things in your life. You know, there's all kinds of jokes I've seen in the past on this. About, you know, how, you know, people are looking into a mirror and talking about how wonderful they are and trying to motivate themselves throughout the day, and just thought it was no good, just kind of garbage, useless. I don't think that way anymore. And I had a friend point this out to me as we were talking, and she said, you know, I said something like, yeah, I'm confused all the time. And she said, you know, don't say that. If you say it, it's bound to come true. You'll start believing it, whether it's true or not. And so I believe that now. And I've also talked about habits. Habits are very important. Good habits, bad habits, they're all very difficult to break and an integrated part of life. We're kind of built for habits. If you do something repetitively enough that it becomes a habit, it becomes more difficult not to do it than it is to do it, no matter how difficult it actually is. So I have a habit of just having that attitude all the time, and that's what gets me through the hard times. That's one of the things that gets me through the hard times, is just being focused on loving my life, because, you know, no matter what's going on, this is, you know, when I start thinking about my whole life, one little thing happening at work on one day out of the, you know, tens of thousands of days I'm hopefully going to live, it's just not that big a deal. Not that big a deal. It also helps to kind of have a ready kind of list of the things that I'm thankful for, the things that I do love in my life. And I can refer back to that and say, oh yeah, you know, the glass really is half full, even if it seems like somebody just dumped out part of it. Hopefully I don't have too many metaphors in this episode. I have to count them up. What do you do when people you love are not lovable? They don't seem lovable. Well, you can just move on, or you can choose to continue to love them. So that's part of it is just a choice. Love is a choice. Loving your life, loving other people, whatever it is. Loving chocolate chip cookies, loving zucchini. It's all a choice. So make that choice. That's all I did. I kind of made the choice. But, I'm going to love my life. Hey. So I talked about a new plan. What's the new plan? It's kind of been developing. So it's not completely new. But I've gone to not walking every single day to walking 3 times a week. And now I'm doing this similar type walk maybe once a week. And that seems to be working well, but I've also discovered there are other things I need in my life. Strength training is one of them. Howdy. And cardio. I talked about interval training, but something like that to get my heart rate up several times a week is key, I think, to lowering my blood pressure, which is still a bit of a problem, even though I've lost so much weight. So I need to get my heart rate up. And so, and another aspect is, I have a workout partner walking beside me right now. And so we're going to try to do this together. And I know from experience that when you try to do things with other people and connect and share the experience. How y'all doing? A lot of people. We're close to the parking lot, so there's a lot of people. Hi.
Good morning.
People and dogs. And some people say dogs are people too. So, a lot of people and dogs. Dog people and people dogs. Okay. That sounds a little crazy. Yes, so if you have a rough workout and you tell, I had one of those the other day, but today I felt fine, you'll get over it, move on. It's great because you might have trouble, maybe the other person has trouble, but you kind of encourage each other, just a natural thing that happens. So what I think we're going to try to do, I did this elliptical machine last Friday, and I am still feeling it in my legs. And I really just want to get my heart rate up, but boy, did it do a number on my legs, because I'm not used to moving that way. It's not like walking. It's not like any kind of weight training. It's just something different, and that's probably a good reason to do it, if nothing else. The more different stresses I put on my body, as long as they're low impact, will be good for me and make me stronger. Hey. So I think we're going to do that maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 or 3 times a week, hopefully. And then the strength training, maybe twice a week. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work out, but Friday, we went in the morning. That was good. I felt good all day. And it requires getting up early in the morning. So not a very easy thing to do.
I'm a morning person.
Yeah. Not only that, it just means you have to go to bed earlier to get enough sleep. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna do the elliptical torture machine, because I've talked about how my gym doesn't have stationary bikes. Tons of treadmills, but I think they saved the stationary bikes for the spin class or something. How you doing? So that's the new plan, and I hope it's gonna do well. I've also, just a quick diet report. I've talked about how, I've lost 10 or 12 pounds in the last 3 weeks. Now, I knew I was going to start cutting again and try to get down to that ideal weight, but I only wanted to do 2 pounds a week. So I'm a little ahead of schedule, and so I'm kind of trying to adjust my diet that way. Also getting really tired of chili for lunch every single day. Howdy. I knew this would happen, so I need to just, this is my priority, so I need to do something about it. So I looked up some recipes today. There are a couple of good sites. I think there's like a wellness something or other, and the one I looked at was allrecipes.com, and they have a special section on lunches, and I was looking at stews and soups and things like that, because the chili things worked out pretty well actually, and they're so low calorie that you can have crackers with them, or even probably some cheese, and still wind up with well under 400 calories for lunch, which is just fine. Probably need more than that. So I'm looking into that because I know that boredom, if I just really get tired of that, someday I'll just say, I'm not eating that, I'm going somewhere, and then I'll have to go somewhere. And I've learned a little bit about how to eat at restaurants, but there's a good chance it's going to be something bad. And so that's something I'm announcing here that I'm going to work on and try to do differently. And I will post 1 or 2 links in the show notes for this episode. Well, we're 45 minutes into the walk, and it's been great. We haven't been rained on yet. So I still got a fever. I love my life for fitness, diet, and medicine. And I hope you two do too. Keep on keeping the fever. And we'll talk to you next time.
This is the Padua Podcast Network. PaduaMedia.com.